Hello everybody, I am here with my second devlog for my game Eden's Inferno, and there's a few things that I would like to touch on today of new stuff that I added to the game. The first and probably most exciting thing I added was a whole new boss, and it's going to replace the boss that I previously had in the prison area, and I think it's a lot more polished and a lot more sensical with the mechanics of the game. Next, I added some new textures to the game, which are a lot more detailed, and I think they fit the look a little bit better. And I added some new sections within the prison area, and finally some enemy redesigns. So first of all, the new boss that I am working on is called the Warden, and he is at the end of the prison level. Now, if you watch my first devlog, you might remember that I already had a boss for the prison level, and I was not very satisfied with it. So when I first made the boss, I was pretty excited by it, but as I went through college, I started to get better at modeling, better at animating, and just better at game design. So I think I kind of just outgrew it. It had an interesting moveset and some fun animations and some fun mechanics with it, but it wasn't really suited to the mechanics of my game. I feel like with some of the bosses that I was making, I was trying too hard to emulate games that I liked, like Dark Souls and Ultra Kill, but I really should have just been focusing on the mechanics of my game and building interesting bosses around that. I actually recently picked up a really fun game on Steam called Pseudo-Regalia, and it inspired me so much to just work on my game after I played it. I probably worked on it for like 2 days straight after I beat that game. It was just so much fun and such a good source of inspiration. I loved the movement mechanics, just the aesthetic of the game, and I really recommend it to anybody watching. If you like games with smooth movement and or Metroidvanias, I am definitely going to use this game as a source of inspiration for a long time coming. So playing that game kind of invoked some kind of epiphany in me where I should start designing the enemies and bosses in my game actually after the movement mechanics in my game, which I feel like I was trying to do before, but I just wasn't really accomplishing that much. So I decided to tailor his moveset specifically around the movement mechanics that you have. And I think it's okay that it's a little bit simple because you don't have access to that much movement now, so there's no reason to get super complex with it. So for his abilities, he has a ground pound attack, which he can follow up with another larger ground pound. You can jump over the first one, but you have to use your shotgun to double jump over the second one. He has a dash attack that can punish you if you're just lurking far away from him or just staying still. And he has just a traditional cannon attack, which you need to parry or dodge. I also recently got AutoRig Pro in Blender, which I've been using for my more recent enemies. And it's been really nice because I just spend a lot less time rigging and more time animating, and it's a better rig than I can make anyway, so I might as well use it. And it's just a lot more liberating when it comes to animating, and I definitely showed that here because I had a lot more fun with his moves than any other boss so far. So the philosophy for this boss and future bosses is to make sure to take advantage of the player's movement options, and I will make every boss with this mentality in the future. So when I posted my video on Reddit, I got some feedback from there. The two major things were that the use of textures could be a lot more detailed, and the outline was maybe a little bit too much, and I should make it a lot more subtle. And I think I did both of those this week. I ended up going into the outline shader and just making it thinner, making it a little more uniform throughout, so it's a lot less chalky and looks more stencily, if that makes sense. For the textures, I ended up hunting down a bunch of different textures to replace my existing ones. Or not replace, just sprinkle in addition to the old ones. And I think adding in some new ones definitely helped a lot, because there's just a lot more variety now. There's a lot more detailed like brick textures, rock textures, just fabric textures. There's a lot of different things that I think really add to it. And originally I was going for a more minimalistic style with the textures, but I think that I see what people are saying. There definitely needs to be a little bit more variety to each room and certain textures, and certain things were looking a little bit too samey. Yeah, let me know what you think of this style going forward. I do like it. I'm currently working on a new enemy as well. Currently, it only fires at fixed points, and the player can use that in certain platforming challenges because they can parry on projectiles and gain airtime. And I'm also going to work on a form of this enemy that can target the player directly and can fight in arenas, and just I can scatter around the world and have fight the player. Because I think I definitely need more variety, especially in the prison area. There's currently only like 3 enemies, really just 2, throughout the prison level, and I definitely need more than that. I do introduce more in later levels, but I should probably start sprinkling them in before the player gets bored, I guess. I changed the textures around for my Seraph enemy. Previously it looked a little bit too organic or humanoid. The original plan with the enemy was to kind of have it look like a statue that came to life and became animated, and adding a rock texture to the skin and the hair really helped with that. I think this is definitely a direction I should have taken originally. I actually am almost considering just promoting this enemy to a boss because I like its design so much now, and I think a giant statue enemy would be really cool. I added a section to the prison level as well, which kind of functions as like a soft tutorial area. There's a little area where you just platform on pillars, and a section which you get your first power up of the game, which is the parry ability. The parry lets you parry any projectiles, and then it charges your weapon, and you also get some airtime, and you can use it in certain platforming challenges or combo it with other movement. So I think that this is about it for this devlog. I would really appreciate any kind of feedback, whether it be with these changes or just the game in general. I really love to hear anything that other people feel about my game. I am always looking to improve this game. This game is my passion, so please let me know what you think. I would really appreciate any kind of feedback or criticism that you could provide. And thank you so much for watching.